on a dare, on a whim, on a wing, on a prayer. Yeah, maybe we're all here, 'cause we ain't all there. We ain't closing down anytime soon. If you wanna come howl at the moon, we can always make a little more room. 'Cause we're all here, and where else would we go when the world tips sideways? It's just where we rode, where that crazy train ran at a track where we all jumped off and never looked back. On a buzz, on a binge, on a dare, on a whim, on a wing, on a prayer. Yeah, maybe we're all here, 'cause we ain't all there. No, we ain't all there.
Wellsradio 89.3 FM. Ibẹ̀ gangan lẹ́wà.
Tired of listening to the same old content? Tune in to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, the only radio other radio stations listen to.
To every girl child, whether the health care, be the education. 'Cause I be smart, but I get big dreams. I am a child, the light, the dream, and the hope for tomorrow, hope for tomorrow. And I deserve the best. Indeed, I'm a pride of Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian child. Makaranta ilimi, tarbiyya malami, yara in sun yi kyawu, ƙasa ta kyawu bai ɗaya.
Every boy, every girl deserves a future that is bright. But when we fold our hands, who is gonna shine the light? There is no better time for you and me to take a stand. So give love and bring hope to the future in your hand, yeah.
I am a child, the light, the dream, and the hope for tomorrow.
And the hope for tomorrow.
And I deserve
The hope for tomorrow.
I'm a Nigerian child.
I'm a Nigerian child.
I'm a Nigerian child.
I'm a Nigerian child. Say, I'm a Nigerian child. I'm a Nigerian child.
I am the future of my nation. I am the new generation. I am a light that cannot be snuffed, a dream that cannot be stopped. I can be the best. I have no other home besides this piece of land to call my own. I am a Nigerian child.
Alele, alele, aleje life, alele. If I get chance, children stay to celebrate them every day. Live your right today, make we no rob them of your tomorrow. Who's my for their face, make we no let them important. No matter who you are, with a little love and the chance, you too can be a star, yeah.
Welcome to Wellsradio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio and your number one family radio station in all your state. It's so good to have you on the other side of the radio this beautiful evening. And as always, you know that this station, Wellsradio 89.3 FM, located along Alafi Avenue, Oluyole Estate, here in the city of Ibadan, is your number one family radio station in your state. And because we give preference to the family, there's something for every member of the family. So this time, it is first to give preference to our dearest young listeners, talking about the children. So this is Homework with Auntie Tolu here on Wellsradio 89.3 FM. If this is the first time you're listening, well, this program is Homework with Auntie Tolu. And of course, as you know, we're still running our test transmission. And so, darlings, when you call me up later on the show, you tell me where you're calling from and how the reception is at your own end. I hope you've been enjoying the various programs that we've had so far today. So, darlings, it's time for us to learn and also have fun. You know, learning is fun, yeah? So as always, we have two different segments, the educative corner and then the games, where you get to call me up and be a part of the show. And of course, win airtime courtesy of Wellsradio 89.3 FM. As I said earlier, my name is Auntie Tolu. Welcome, darlings.
We are the children. We are the
Welcome back. It is Homework with Auntie Tolu on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, and of course, your number one family radio in Oyo State. So, as I said earlier, Homework is going to be in two segments. The first segment, the educative corner, is where, we learn basically. And so, today, we're going to talk about phrasal verbs. Yesterday, we did something on idioms, learning about some of the uncommon idioms that we have in English language. So today, we're going to talk about phrasal verbs. So, darlings, let's get our writing materials and begin this evening. It is Wells Radio 89.3 FM, located along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, here in the city of Ibadan. Do not forget to follow us across socials at Wells Radio 893, at Wells Radio, WELLS, Wells Radio 893, on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, formerly Twitter, and also on TikTok and on YouTube. You can also visit our website at www.wellsradio893.com. Presently, we are live on Facebook, so just go on Facebook and watch live at Wells Radio 89.3 FM, at Wells Radio 89.3 FM. So, as I said, darlings, we're talking about phrasal verbs today. Now, what are phrasal verbs? Phrasal verbs are verbs that are combined with adverb or a preposition, or sometimes both, to give a new meaning. Phrasal verb is a verb combined with an adverb or a preposition, or sometimes both, to give a new meaning. That's what it means. A phrasal verb is also defined as a phrase that combines a verb with a preposition or adverb or both, and that functions as a verb whose meaning is different from the combined meanings of the individual words. I'll take that again slowly. A phrasal verb can also be defined as a phrase that combines a verb with a preposition or adverb or both, and that functions as a verb whose meaning is different from the combined meanings of the individual words. A phrasal verb is a phrase that combines a verb with a preposition or adverb or both, and that functions as a verb whose meaning is different from the combined meanings of the individual words. So from these definitions, we know already that a phrasal verb is always with an adverb or a preposition, or even both. For instance, we have go in for, go in for, go in for. And we also have win over, see to, take off, look down on. All of these are phrasal verbs. Okay, so now phrasal verbs can be categorized into four. Phrasal verbs can be divided into four main types. We have the transitive phrasal verbs, transitive phrasal verbs. We have the intransitive phrasal verbs. We have the separable phrasal verbs and the inseparable phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs can be categorized into four: the transitive phrasal verbs, the intransitive phrasal verbs, the separable phrasal verbs, and the inseparable phrasal verbs. Now, transitive phrasal verbs can be identified by its demand for an object, just like transitive verbs. Okay, so just like transitive verbs, a transitive phrasal verb can be identified by its demand for an object. For example, in a sentence, can you fill in the required details so we can move on with the screening process. Fill in that particular sentence is the phrasal verb, and it is a transitive phrasal verb. Can you fill in the required details so that we can move on with the screening process? As I said earlier, the transitive phrasal verbs can be identified by its demand for an object. Another example is, it was not possible for Vina to do away with all of it. It was not possible for Vina to do away with all of it. In that sentence, do away with is an example of a phrasal verb, and it is a transitive phrasal verb, making a demand for an object. So, like I said before, the transitive phrasal verbs can be identified by its demand for an object. Welcome back. You're still listening to Homework with Auntie Tolu on Wellsradio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio and your number one family radio station in Oyo State. And so far, darlings, we've been talking about phrasal verbs, and I already gave you the definition of phrasal verbs. Now, for those that are just joining, let me do a quick recap. I said that phrasal verbs is simply a verb combined with an adverb or a preposition, or sometimes both, to give a new meaning. It could also mean a phrase that combines a verb with a preposition or adverb, or both, and that functions as a verb whose meaning is different from the combined meanings of the individual words. So it means that the meaning of the words that make up the phrasal verb differ from their individual meanings when they stand alone. Okay, I'll take that again. Phrasal verb is defined as a phrase that combines a verb with a preposition or adverb, or sometimes both, and that functions as a verb whose meaning is different from the combined meanings of the individual words. And I said already that we have four main types. We have the transitive phrasal verbs, the intransitive phrasal verbs, the separable phrasal verbs, and the inseparable phrasal verbs. Now, talking about the transitive phrasal verbs, just like normal transitive verbs, they can be identified by demand for another object. A transitive phrasal verb can be identified by its demand for an object. And I give examples. 1. Can you fill in the required details so that we can move on with the screening? Can you fill in the required details so that we can move on with the screening? Filling in that particular question is the phrasal verb, and it is a transitive phrasal verb, making a demand on the object. Also, it was not possible for Vina to do away with all of it. It was not possible for Vina to do away with all of it. do away with in that particular sentence is the transitive phrasal verb, making a demand on the object, it. It was not possible for Vina to do away with all of it. So let's move on now, since we're on the same page. The second is the intransitive phrasal verbs. Intransitive phrasal verbs behave exactly like intransitive verbs, and they do not require an object to complete the sentence that they are used in or to make sense of the context. For intransitive phrasal verbs, just like intransitive verbs, they don't require an object to complete the sentence that they are used in or make sense of the context. For example, in a sentence, my car broke down all of a sudden while driving through the section. My car broke down all of a sudden while driving through the section. My car broke down all of a sudden while driving through the section. Broke down in that particular sentence is the intransitive phrasal verb. And of course, you can decide to say my car broke down. So it means it doesn't necessarily rely on an object. In that particular sentence, there's no object. My car broke down all of a sudden while driving through the section. Another example. It has been years since we met. We should definitely catch up. It has been years since we met. We should definitely catch up. Catch up in that sentence is the intransitive phrasal verb. And you know that we can just say, oh, we should definitely catch up, right? So it doesn't necessarily need an object to make sense. I can decide to say, oh, we should catch up, right? So it doesn't rely on an object. Unlike the transitive phrasal verbs, I cannot just say, can you feel in? What am I supposed to feel in? That's the next question. Okay, what should I feel in? Which means it's not making sense without the object. So what do you expect me to feel in? Oh, can you fill in the required details? Then it makes sense. But for the intransitive phrasal verbs, I can say, oh, my car broke down. I can say we should definitely catch up. So it can make sense whether it has an object or not. Then we have the separable phrasal verbs. The separable phrasal verbs. Separable phrasal verbs include transitive phrasal verbs that have characteristic property of separating the phrasal verb with the object in between. The separable phrasal verbs is simply this transitive phrasal verb that can be separated with the object in between. Now let's give an example in a sentence so you'd understand better. I'm not the kind of person who holds all of this against you. I am not the kind of person who holds all of this against you. Now, holds against is a phrasal verb. Hold against is a phrasal verb, but it can be separated. That's why we can put a couple of words in between it. I'm not the kind of person who holds all of this against you. So it is separable. Another example, can you please hand it over to him? Hand over, that's a phrasal verb, right? But it can also be separated. Can you please hand it over to him? Can you please hand it over to him? So rather than have hand and over together, we have separated it. So we have, can you please hand it in between over to him? So that's simply separable phrasal verbs that can be separated and have the object in between. And then inseparable phrasal verbs, just as the name suggests, cannot be separated. They have to be used together. For the inseparable phrasal verbs, they cannot be separated. You have to use them together. For example, you have to account for all the losses that have been incurred. you will have to account for all the losses that have been incurred. You know, you cannot say you have to account all the losses for that have been incurred. That would be wrong. So that particular phrasal verb cannot be separated. You will have to account for all the losses that have been incurred. Account for is a phrasal verb and it cannot be separated. BC was asked to check out of the hotel. BC was asked to check out of the hotel. Now, in that particular sentence, check out is a phrasal verb. We cannot say BC was asked to check of the hotel out. That would be wrong. So it cannot be separated. It has to go together, hand in hand. So the inseparable phrasal verbs cannot be separated. They have to be used together. Okay, so that is what it means. Those are the types: the transitive phrasal verbs, the intransitive phrasal verbs, the separable phrasal verbs, and the inseparable phrasal verbs. So let's give some examples of phrasal verbs that we have. We have ask around. Ask around. That's a phrasal verb. Back up. Back up. That's also another phrasal verb. We have blow up. Another example of a phrasal verb. Break down. Break in. Break up. Break out. Bring down. Bring up, call around, call back, call off, call on, count down, catch up, check in, check out, cheer up, chip in, clean up, come across, come apart, come down with, come forward, come from, count on, cross out, cut back on, to cut in, cut off, do over, do away with, dress up, drop back, drop in, drop by, drop over, drop out, eat out, end up, fall apart, fall down, figure out, fill in, fill out, fill up, find out, get across, get along, get around, get away, get back, get up, give away. All of these are all examples of phrasal verbs, and we have quite a number of them also. We also have go ahead, go out, go over, go out with, to grow back, to grow apart, and a host of others. And so next time we're going to talk about how best to use phrasal verbs, how you should use your phrasal verbs correctly. Okay, but for now, let's just do a quick recap so we are on the same page. Today, we've talked about phrasal verbs, and I said that phrasal verb is a verb combined with an adverb or a preposition, or sometimes both, to give a new meaning. A verb combined with an adverb or a preposition, or sometimes both, to give a new meaning. It means a phrase that combines a verb with a preposition or adverb, or both, and that functions as a verb whose meaning is different from the combined meanings of the individual words. And we stated the types that we have. We have the transitive phrasal verbs, which can be identified by its demand for an object. So it requires an object. The transitive phrasal verbs require objects. For example, in a sentence, can you fill in the required details so we can move on with the screening? It was not possible for Vina to do away with all of it. Then the intransitive phrasal verbs, which just like intransitive verbs, do not require an object to complete the sentence or make sense of the context. My car broke down all of a sudden while driving through the section. You can as well say, oh, my car broke down. It has been years since we met. We should definitely catch up. You can as well say, we should catch up. We should definitely catch up. Then the separable phrasal verbs that can be separated with the object in between. For example, I am not the kind of person who holds anything against you. That's hold against. But we separated them. I am not the kind of person who holds all of this against you. Then we have the inseparable phrasal verbs, and just as the name suggests, it cannot be separated. For example, in a sentence, you will have to account for all the losses that have been incurred. You will have to account for in that particular sentence is a phrasal verb, and it is inseparable. Okay, and so I've given a few examples like go over, grow apart, grow back, go out with, give up, give in, get up, get together, get over, get on, get back, get along, find out, fill in, fall down, fall apart, drop back, do away with, to cut off, cut in, cut back, come down with, and a host of others. All of these are examples of phrasal verbs. And that's all today on the Educative Corner. That's the first segment on homework with Auntie Tolu. It's time for us to move on to the games. And as always, for the games, I have got quiz questions, spelling bee questions. I've also got riddles and tongue twisters. So it's time for us to have fun and also win as we do it. As of course, there's airtime for you to win once you put a call through to the studio and you're able to get the question. So the phone line to call 0915 333 4893 0915 333 4893. That's the station's frequency. Do not forget, you can watch live on Facebook at Wellsradio 89.3 FM, at Wellsradio 89.3 FM. 0915 333 4893. Hello.
Hello, ma.
Hello.
Hello, ma.
Good evening, darling.
My name is Zainab.
Zainab, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Are you too, ma?
I'm very well, thank you, Zainab.
Thanks for my gift, ma.
You're welcome. So, how's your day been?
Fine, and yours, ma.
Fine. Zainab, I need you to turn down the volume on your radio set.
I've done that, ma.
I can still hear myself.
I've turned it down.
Okay. All right. So, Zainab is calling me from where?
Reduce.
Hello.
Reduce.
Okay, riddles.
Yes, ma.
All right. But how is the reception like at your area this evening, Zainab?
It's clear, ma.
Very clear.
Yes, ma.
Okay. All right. So you'll be answering 2 riddles.
Okay, ma.
Okay. Or let's make it 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the first one. Hey, sorry. What jumps when it walks and sits when it stands?
Kangaroo.
Kangaroo. Okay. All right. And over to the next one.
Okay, ma.
Okay. So I can honk without using a horn. What am I?
Ma?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma.
I can honk without using a horn. What am I?
I can honk without using a horn.
Yes.
Cloud.
Are you sure?
No, ma.
I can honk without using a horn. What am I?
I don't know it.
Okay. All right. So let's do the last one. I sleep during the day and fly at night, but I have no feathers to aid my flight. What am I?
Repeat it, ma.
I sleep during the day and fly at night, but I have no feathers to aid my flight. What am I? I sleep during the day and fly at night, but I have no feathers to aid my flight. What am I?
Pillow.
Pillow.
Yes, ma.
You said pillow.
Yes, ma.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for calling, Zainab. It is actually a bat. I sleep during the day. Do you see bats during the day? No. Bats fly at night. Okay. I can honk without using a horn. That is a goose. A goose. Okay, thank you. Hello.
Hello, ma.
Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Khadija. I'm calling from Wellsradio.
Khadija, how are you doing?
I'm fine, ma.
Okay, good to know. So, Khadija, what option would you like to go for?
Please.
Quiz.
Yes, ma.
Okay. Khadija,
Ma?
so you have to answer mathematics question, English, and current affairs.
Okay, ma.
For the English, I'm going to be picking from what I just taught today.
Okay, ma.
Okay? Are we good?
Yes, ma.
Okay. All right. So, are you ready?
Yes, ma.
Should we start from English?
Yes, ma.
From English. Okay. All right. So, give me one phrasal verb. I taught phrasal verbs today, so give me just one of the long list of phrasal verbs.
Break down.
I didn't hear you.
Break up.
Break
Break
up.
down.
Okay. You gave me more than one. That's nice. All right. That's one. Number 2. Going to mathematics now. 0.75 is the same as 0.75. Can you hear me? Convert 0.75 in percentage. In percentage. 75%. Are
Yes,
you
ma'am.
sure?
Yes, ma.
Very sure.
Yes, ma.
Okay, all right. And let's go for the final question for today, Khadija.
Okay, ma.
Okay, so Khadija,
Ma.
who is the current Deputy Senate President? Deputy Senate President. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Easy, ma.
The current Deputy Senate President. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. That's all. Your time is up. But of course, you got 2 questions correctly. So, yes, I would be sending you a gift. But
Okay, ma.
you're welcome. The current Deputy Senate President is Barau Jibrin. Barau Jibrin. Okay. Barau Jibrin. Jibrin. Thank you so much. 0915 333 4893. 0915 333 4893. Hello,
Hello, my Zainab calendar.
Zainab.
Ma.
Your time has gone now. Let's give room for other people. Thank you. All right. 0915 333 4893. 0915 333 4893. That's the station's frequency. And of course, it's the game segment of Homework with Auntie Tolu on Wellsradio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. Okay, we lost our call already. Do well to call back 0915 333 4893. Hello, darling. Oh, okay. You can try again 0915 333 4893. 0915 333 4893. That's the station's frequency. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is located along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, here in the city of Ibadan. And we, of course, your number 1 family radio in your state, where it's not be to serve you wholesome and safe content all the time for every member of the family. This is Homework with Auntie Tolu, and it's time for us to give preference to the young listeners, talking about the children. And of course, this is the games segment. So once you put a call through, you stand a chance to win airtime depending on your performance on the show. 0915 333 4893. 0915 333 4893. Of course, you can still watch live on Facebook at Wells Radio 89.3 FM, at Wells Radio 89.3 FM. On Facebook, we've got a comment from Aziz Soli Olugbile, and he says, "Good afternoon from Isenyi." Thank you so much. 0915 333 4893. Hello.
Muhammad. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good evening. What's your name?
My name is Muhammad.
Muhammad,
Yes, ma.
how are you doing?
I'm fine, ma.
So you're calling from...
From Newmanton.
Okay. All right. So, Muhammad,
Ma?
how is your metu this evening?
It's fine.
Okay. All right. So, which option would you like to go for?
Option
Quiz, spelling bee, tongue twisters, or riddles?
quiz.
Quiz.
Yes.
Okay. All right. For the quiz question, I have a question in mathematics, a question from English, and one from current affairs.
Okay. Okay, ma.
Okay. All right. So, are you ready?
Yes, ma.
All right. For mathematics now. How many sides does a nonagon contain?
9.
Hello?
9.
9.
Yes, ma.
Okay. All right. That's one. Correct. Moving on to the second one now. Hello?
Hello, ma.
All right. I need you to identify the phrasal verb in this sentence.
Okay, ma.
All right. The sentence is Kate let me down when she did not show up. Kate let me down when she did not show up.
Let me down and show up.
Let me down and show up. Are you sure that it is let me down?
I'm not sure.
Let me down. Kate let me down when she did not show up.
Yes, ma.
Okay. All right. It is actually let down, not let me down.
Okay, ma.
Mm-hmm. It is a separable phrasal verb, and that's why there's me in between. Now let's go for the last question, which is the current affairs question.
Okay, ma.
Okay, so are you ready?
Yes, ma.
Let's go into a bit of history. Let's not do from now. So, when did the British formally unite the colony and the protectorate of Nigeria?
1914.
1914. Are you sure?
Yes, ma.
Very sure.
Yes, ma.
Thank you so much for calling, Muhammad. All right, Muhammad is my second winner on the show this evening. Okay, Muhammad and Khadija have won airtime. Courtesy of Wells Radio 89.3 FM 0915 333 4893. Hello, darling.
Hello, good evening, ma.
Good evening. What's your name?
My name is Anna Simeon, ma.
Simeon or Naji Simeon.
Yes, ma.
How are you doing, Simeon?
I'm fine, ma.
Okay, so where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Mumia, ma.
You're calling from Monia.
Yes, ma.
Okay. All right. It's good to have you on the show, Simeon.
Thank you.
How have you been?
I'm fine, ma.
Okay, good to know. So, Simeon, quiz, spelling bee, riddles, tongue twisters.
Tongue twisters, ma.
Tongue twisters. Okay, Simeon wants tongue twisters. So let's go for tongue twisters. So Simeon, let's look for a really simple tongue twister to do today. Okay? Hello?
Hello, ma.
Okay, so are you ready?
Yes, ma.
All right. So, for today, let's do red brick, blue beak. Red brick, blue beak. Brick, B-R-I-C-K, and beak, B-I-C-K.
Red
red brick, blue beak. Hello, Simeon. Hello, Simeon. I can't hear you. Oh, I think Simeon might need to call us back. Okay. Call me again, Simeon. 0915-333-4893. Hello. Good evening, darling.
Hello?
Hello. Good evening, darling. What's your name?
My name is Muhammad.
I need you to speak up, please.
Muhammad.
Muhammad what?
What did you say?
I said Muhammad what?
Bun Muhammad.
Muhammad Bun Muhammad.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So where are you calling me from?
I'm calling from Yemetu.
From Yemetu.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So many people from Yemetu this evening. Okay. So Muhammad, which would you like to go for?
I can't hear you.
Hello. Maybe you should try to call back then. Okay. All right.
Give me your ears, I no go beg. Picking the good love and care. Kings and queens, leaders of tomorrow. Life will better if you pay attention to every girl child. Whether the healthcare, be the education. 'Cause I be small girl, oh, but I get big dreams. I am a child, the light, the dream, and the hope for tomorrow. Hope for tomorrow. And I deserve the best. Indeed, I'm a pride of Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian child. I'm a Nigerian child. I'm a Nigerian child. I'm a Nigerian child.
Okay, and it's about time for Auntie to leave the studio this evening. I can still see your calls, but right about now, it's time to go. Okay, yes, of course. It's been an amazing time with you on the other side of the radio. Trust me, I've had so much fun, and Khadija and Muhammad are my winners on the show today. From Yemetu, thank you so much for being a part of this. That's all on homework with Auntie Tolu on Wellsradio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, and of course your number one family radio station in Oyo State. As I said earlier, that's going to be all today. Till meet again, my name is Auntie Tolu. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a fun-filled weekend ahead. By 6 p.m., the platform comes up.